What's up, everybody? Josh Lucas, the coach, the premier armchair quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Holy smokes! It feels like I just got kicked in the dime bag. So my experience with yesterday's game might be a little bit different than yours. I played co-ed softball, or I coach co-ed softball on Sundays for the first part of the season. So I record the games, and then I watch them after softball. I survived all day not knowing what happened to the Browns until the ride home when my beautiful fiance read a Facebook post that gave it away. I had caught wind of there being an onside kick, so I knew it was going to be a close ending. And then when I went and watched the game, I had a little bit different of experience because I knew it was going to end poorly. So I was looking and watching for things and reasons why it would end poorly. And man, I cannot tell you, I was flabbergasted when we were up 13 points with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to go and somehow found a way to lose that game. This is the second week in a row where the Browns have dominated their opponent, both offensively, for the most part defensively, up and down the field, and still could have lost. This time we did lose. The first time we should have lost, but Cade York bailed us out. Conversely, this time if Cade York would make a extra point, there's a chance that the Browns still win that game. It's tied, or it forces the Jets to go for two, and they may or may not get it. So hopefully this will be a wake-up call to Cade York, saying, listen, man, those 57, 60-yarders, those are awesome, but you got to make those extra points too. Where does the blame fall in all of this? Well, I told you from the beginning of the season, before Jacoby Brissett ever set foot on the field, that he was not going to be the problem. You guys were going crazy saying Dobbs should be the quarterback and this and that, and don't come at me with that last-second pick bull crap. That should have never been in that situation to begin with. The dude played a hell of a game, way good enough to win the game, and at the end of it, they had a bad, salty taste in your mouth because of a pick. Don't come at me because of that shit. That is not the reason why we lost the game. Don't ever even say Jacoby Brissett right now is the reason why we are winning games or in the position to be able to win games. Jacoby Brissett last week, if he doesn't go on that short game-winning drive, not turn the ball over, play safe football all the time, hand the ball off to Chubb and Hunt, then we don't win that game, right? This week he came out of his shell, and like I said he would. I said that he was going to be a little bit more comfortable this time. I said that first game was 4 of the first 5 quarters of football that he played this year. He only played 1 quarter of preseason football. And this week he was going to be much more comfortable with the scheme, the system. He's got a win under his belt, and I knew statistically he would be better. And Amari Cooper benefited from that. He threw touchdowns. There's nothing more that you can ask from the guy. Obviously, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, there's nothing more you can ask from them. Amari Cooper, there's nothing more you can ask for. Offensively, it was great. Offensively, the play calling. Don't come at me with Stefanski. No. The play calling was awesome. It was great. It was perfect. You went back to the well over and over again because they couldn't stop it. That's what you're supposed to do as a play caller. That was great. And then you have the defense. The supposed top 5 defense that for some reason on the back end of it just allows big, game-breaking, game-changing plays 2 weeks in a row. Grant Delpit. He has a Trevon Diggs mentality, but without the skill set. He's super aggressive, and it works great in the run game. That's why nobody can run on us. But he doesn't care a lick about getting beat deep. Both against Carolina and yesterday. That was Delpit, man. Now, I don't know. I wasn't inside the huddle. I don't know what the play call was, but it sure looked like the Pro Bowl corner Denzel Ward was playing a cover 4 look where he's supposed to remain in the flat There's a little bit of a hole behind the flat that Wilson could have been exploited with and kind of sat in that hole, but he didn't. He streaked up the field after getting to that hole, and there was no safety. That is not by design. I was never impressed last year with Joe Woods' defense. It was supposed to be great, and towards the end of the year, there was flashes of goodness, of good stuff going on, and everybody said, oh, well, this year it's going to be a top 5 defense, and I bought into it. But man, the Joe Woods defense has been good against the run. I'll give you that. And, I mean, when you have Myles Garrett, it helps out the pass game. But, man, could you imagine if there was no Myles Garrett, no Jadeveon Clowney, and you had to rely on that secondary to stop the passing game? Some serious answers need to be questioned. And I'm not sure if it's a scheme thing or a personnel thing. On personnel, I feel like that we have the dogs, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to walk through that video again and pay close attention specifically to the secondary, because that is what lost us that game. You have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to beat the Jets with Joe Flacco. You are supposed to, and you did for 3.9 quarters. And now we're 1-1. The good news is everybody else in the AFC North lost yesterday too. But if you're going to be in playoff contention when Deshaun Watson returns from suspension, you have to win the games that you're supposed to win. People said that Carolina was a toss-up and you won that one. I thought that was the game they were supposed to win. They won. The Jets, everybody penciled the Browns to win. They should have won. Now you're going into Thursday night against the Steelers. This is a big game. This just turned into a real big game. The Steelers are technically number 1 in the division. Here's my prediction. My prediction is that this game, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, this is the optimist in me. The unbridled, just not knowing any better optimist, even though I should know better, is that this is going to serve to light a fire under that defensive secondary. That on Thursday night, they are going to come out on a mission with their heads on fire. And if they don't, then some serious changes need to be made, either to the scheme, the coaching, the personnel. Something has to change on defense. To me, if you play 3 quarters of defense soundly, and then in the fourth quarter, in both games, you have defensive failures and letdowns in the fourth quarter, that's not a personnel thing. You have the personnel to play good defense for 3 quarters. It's a scheme thing, unless they have developed the bad habit of letting up. Then it's a personnel thing and a coaching thing at the same time, because a good coach doesn't let that happen. But people with the right drive and the right mentality don't let that happen to themselves either. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's just a scheme thing, and they understand that this is something that they have to look at the way that they do in the closing minutes of a game, closing quarter of a game when you have a lead. They reevaluate their philosophies, and then they make the necessary changes. If not, it doesn't matter how good you are through 3 quarters. Ask Baltimore. There it is. That's my take. I love you guys. I love the Browns. I'll see you on Thursday. But man, I didn't even want to listen to any sports radio this morning. Hate it. See ya.